games. As Chelsea manager, what did you make of what you heard there, Leanne?
I think it's interesting because I don't think you can make excuses for Chelsea. I mean, yes, they've got injuries, so has every other team, you know, in the Premier League. They've got an unbelievable depth in their squad, and I think I hear a lot of excuses, but I think they're struggling right now. I think last year people thought they were getting in Lukaku, they were going to win the league. That was literally what a lot of people were saying. And then from that moment on, you know, Tuchel coming in, winning the Champions League, did really, really well. But I think they're struggling right now with their identity. And I think certain players like Rudiger leaving, I think, you know, that's questionable. Mason Mount did all right tonight, but didn't really offer a lot. And I think they're struggling with what formation to play, whether it's a 3, whether it's a 4-4-2. They just, and without Reece James playing, obviously that's a massive loss for tonight. But for me, at the end, Mendy coming up, you know, trying to score a goal, the goalkeeper, yes, that's great. But this is Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? They shouldn't be in desperation against the Southampton team, who deserved the result, I thought, tonight.
Did they look disjointed to you, Leon?
Yes. And I thought it was very un-Chelsea-like performance. And I get that feeling from his team. I get that feeling from him as well. I thought it was quite honest in the way he said that his team are too easy to score against and too easy to play against. You know, how often we've seen Chelsea teams will not only start well, which his team did, but once they've got control of the game, they'll either score the goals to take it out of sight or they'll control the game. They're not controlling a game like top sides do at the moment. They're giving the opposition the opportunity to get up ahead of steam, to put them on the back foot. And the most disappointing thing, I thought, for me was in the second half, or once you've had half-time and you're behind, you make your changes or you send out the same 11 and you ask for them to step up the game, to go and find a way back into the game, to go show character, to go show quality. I didn't really think they troubled Southampton in the second half. Maybe 1 or 2 half chances, but not that sustained threat that a top Premier League side should be able to deliver to break the opposition down. Chelsea are just off the pace at the moment.
So do you agree with Leon that they've lost a bit of their identity?
I think the fact that Rudiger, you know, we talk about the qualities that he has as a defender. I think his character is a big miss.
The leadership qualities.
The leadership qualities. Somebody...
Win at all costs.
Yeah,
I think Rudiger would do absolutely anything.
Somebody that will drive the team forward. Somebody that, you know, would probably punch his mother in the face for a victory. You know, that kind of character within the side. They're very nice to play against at the moment, Chelsea. They're easy for oppositions to score against, and Thomas Tuchel won't be happy with that.
I prefer taking candy from a child.
Yeah, I didn't really know where I was going there for a moment.
Yeah. But look, we mustn't forget, Chelsea are the biggest spenders in the Premier League over this summer transfer window. So have you been expecting more from them?
I think so, but like I said, it doesn't matter how much money you spend if you've got no plan in place.
Yeah, or a focal point, I suppose, because that's one of their main issues right now, is it not? Is replacing Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, but they've also got Sterling in there who can score goals. I mean, they missed so many chances tonight. They had so many chances they could have scored, which usually you'd expect them to put away. I know they're talking about Aubameyang coming in, but you can't make excuses all the time. They spent a lot of money, but they just don't look like they're at the races. And Reece James not playing tonight is a massive loss, but you can't lose a couple of players and make excuses about injuries. They have good enough quality, but Mason Mount just doesn't seem as impactful as he was last season at times, and that's not really his fault. It doesn't look like the players know where each other are. You know, Ruben Loftus-Cheek coming in off the wing, that's not his best position. You know, it's almost like they've got injuries, but you can't make excuses for them. There's
no doubt that the fact that all of his injuries, I mean, they do have a large enough squad, Chelsea, on the whole, but when all your injuries, and he mentioned it in his interview, hit you in the same position, you're not equipped to deal with that. You know, he spoke, Loftus-Cheek's picked up an injury, Kovacic could only play 20 minutes, Kante's out. You know, when you're suffering big injuries to big players in one position, it can be difficult. So suddenly you're playing players out of position, you're hoping you can adapt. Reece James has played a number of different positions. Azpilicueta is in and out, he's right back, he's centre back because, you know, they're rumoured to need Fofana. So I don't think they're the finished article. I do think they'll improve, but you know, if you're going to compete at the very top of the league, you're going to try and compete for championships, and you're going to try and run who we do think is going to be again Manchester City and Liverpool close. You can't lose 2 of your opening games. No.
And let's not forget, there might be a different look to this Chelsea team, particularly up top, by the end of this transfer window. Come Thursday night here in the UK, let's have a look at the one positive, Raheem Sterling. 3 goals now in 2 games, and of course, as we saw moments ago, his goal was well taken to give Chelsea the lead.
Yeah, we spoke a lot about this interchangeability during the game with Ziyech and Mount, and Cucurella makes us run down the left-hand side, and it's a really, really good assist from Mount in there, and the way Sterling has his composure, I said it before, I think if he's playing for Manchester City, I think he pulls that back, but he's got that willingness, you know, that leadership that I thought Manchester City letting him go was quite, you know, borderline impossible, because I can't believe Chelsea got him through the door so quickly, and this is a fantastic run as well from Kai Havertz.
But the way, how narrow Chelsea are, you know, how often are we used to seeing Chelsea with the wing-backs spreading the pitch? It was Chilwell and Reece James making the pitch as big as they possibly could last season when we thought they were playing well. They've adopted a different style at the moment. They're very narrow, as we said. Whether that's because of personnel he thinks he's got available to him, trying to get people into the most natural positions, or that's the style he wants to play, we'll see in a few weeks or so. But good finish by Sterling, but the reaction from Southampton was brilliant. And that, for your first Premier League goal, it was absolutely true. Look, he sees the gap, touch out of his feet, opens the position up even more, and Mendy may have been unsighted, but it's a terrific finish.
Romeo Lavia, the 18-year-old, opening his account. Obviously, it's a moment to remember for him. Edouard Mendy?
Yeah, I think he's been questionable this season. I think Mendy was brilliant last year, but I think he's cost Chelsea a couple. We saw him getting stuck on the ball against Tottenham. So, but Lavia, great finish, but I do think Mendy has to do better there. He gets a hand to it, but not strong enough.
Let's have another look here, and see, you know, the crowd of players in front of him, whether it did play a big part.
Yeah, well, first of all, that clearance from Azpilicueta is really poor. Got to use his other foot. Got to make sure it clears further than that. I'm giving Lavia credit for the way he opens his body up, but I think if you see Koulibaly, you see Mendy, he's right behind Koulibaly. Probably doesn't see it until there. Reacts late, can't get enough of a hand to it to make sure he keeps it out. But Lavia's hit it so hard, so precise, and it was a really good goal.
I think the players now as well are so mindful of giving away a handball.
Yeah.
You know, Koulibaly, Azpilicueta, the first thing they're thinking about is getting their hands behind their back.
Yeah.
And Thiago Silva, whereas actually there's someone needs to step out and stop Lavia from putting that in the back of the net. But ultimately, I thought it was a really good finish. But if I'm being hypercritical, I think Mendy has to do better.
And a quick question on him. How do you think he started the season for Chelsea?
Mendy?
Yeah.
Well, I think...
We saw the mistake against Aronson.
Yeah, I can't label every goal Chelsea have conceded at Mendy, but he's conceded 8 goals in, that's 5 games of the season. That's far too many for a Chelsea backline. Suddenly, you're asking your midfielders and your strikers to outscore that, to make sure you're winning all the games and getting the points you require. And for a strike force that's missing a striker, we're talking they need to go out and get this centre forward. We're mentioning Aubameyang. That's far too many goals. You know, you need to keep things tight. You need to make sure if you think you've not quite where you want to be at the top end of the field, you keep it tight at the back. Well, I think Thomas Tuchel admitted pretty much in his interview that at both ends of the field, they're not quite at it yet. Fofana
will help that, though. 100%, he will definitely help that back line, because they look right now a little bit all over the place, you know, defensively. But I think Reece James, when he plays, they are a different team. But ultimately, they'll always look at... Everyone's going to look at Mendy because he concedes the goals, but the defenders have to defend as well.
Of the 8 goals they've conceded so far this season, let's have a look at the 8th then, from Adam Armstrong, which was in first half injury time. How well worked a goal was this, Leanne?
Yeah, I like this goal a lot. I think we saw against Manchester United when Southampton played them, they were popping the ball around. Ward-Prowse plays this out, and it's a fantastic cutback. I love this. He picks him out, and Adam Armstrong questioned him before the game a little bit to say, you know, doesn't really score goals. His first goal since November. But this movement, and I love Ward-Prowse, you know, he's not only got free kicks in his locker, he's an out-and-out footballer, and that's a really, really good finish from Armstrong. And hopefully, you know, I think that can maybe push him on, give him a bit of confidence. But, you know, Ralph Hasenhüttl kept him in the side, because at times I'd questioned, you know, Breuer was there last year, out on loan, now he's gone back to Chelsea. So they're going to need players to step up and score goals. And, you know, that stadium tonight was rocking, as it was against Man United, but they didn't get the result.
Yeah, well, let's hear then from Southampton's match winner. Here's Adam Armstrong.
Adam, congratulations. You came from behind to take 3 points against Chelsea. Just how huge is this moment?
Massive. You know, we had a few tough games recently, and we knew it was going to be a tough night tonight. You know, Chelsea are a top opposition, and you know the lads dug deep. You've seen at the end how hard everyone works. That's what it means to play for this club in front of this crowd. You have to be on it every time, and you know, nights like this we won't forget.
Do you feel like a result like this has been coming because you pushed United close?
Yeah, it was frustrating on Saturday. You know, we had a few chances that we should be putting away, but you know that's football. We had to dig deep tonight, and 3 points is massive.
Nice to be back on the score sheet yourself.
Yeah, it's been a while. Playing out of position a bit on the left now. You know, I'm getting used to it again. So yeah, it's good.
Credit to the lads as well, because it looked like a really good team goal. You just see all seem to be singing off the same hymn sheet at the minute. Yeah,
that's all it takes. I think we know the lads are working hard. We've got a great squad now, a lot of youth who can run about, so that's good.
Well, it's also Romeo's first senior goal tonight. Pleased for him?
Yeah, brilliant. Romeo's been top class since he's come in. He came through Man City. We know what he was like, and I'm buzzing for him.
Well, as you said, there are a lot of new players in the squad, young players in the squad, but does it feel when you get a win over teams like Chelsea that in actual fact you can step up and be really competitive this season?
Yeah, I think we have to look at every game, you know how hard the Premier League is. But nights like tonight, if you work as hard as we did tonight and take your chances, I think that's the main thing. In recent weeks we haven't been taking our chances, but tonight we did and earned the 3 points.
It's the first time that Saints have beaten Chelsea at home since 2013. Nice to give the fans something to sing about.
Yeah, like you said, you need the 12th man at the end when you're pushing for it. But like you said, great night tonight, and we'll celebrate tonight.
Yeah, well done to Adam Armstrong. Incredibly, all of Southampton's 7 points this season have come from losing positions. For a young starting 11, one of the youngest in the Premier League at the minute. I mean, how impressive is that?
That's amazing, and it's a mentality thing. Ultimately, you don't want to go behind, but especially against a team like Chelsea, to show that resilience, it shows you that they have the right mentality. I mentioned it before the game, there's a lot of players in that team that are kind of unknowns, and for him to take out Romeo out the lineup shows you how much he believes in his team. Brought in Aribo, those types of players, and Salisu, and a lot of them are really, really good, and they're going to need to step up, and ultimately, football games are won by scoring goals, and that's what Adam Armstrong needs to do. First goal since November, needs to score more goals. It started tonight.
Of those youngsters in Southampton, 20-year-old Armel Bella-Kotchap caught your eye, Leon.
Yeah, he did. I was really impressed. We spoke before the game about the fact that Southampton seemed to be a side that developed players. I mean, this young man's come in, 20-year-old from Germany, 9.5 million. This is absolutely terrific defending. He's 2v1 against Raheem Sterling, trying to cut out that pass. He cuts it out perfectly, steps across, makes the tackle, and he was constantly prepared to step in, show great strength. Look, holding defenders up, pulling away at the right moment, holding off Cucurella in that moment. And, for as we mentioned, for a team that need to sort of recruit really well and find these players and then bring them into the team so young. They lost on the opening day heavily to Tottenham, and the reaction since then has been fantastic. As we mentioned, Bazunu in goal.
Yeah.
Lavia scores the goal tonight. Bella-Kotchap, really impressive display.
He was good against Manchester United as well. Last-minute tackles, being fearless, getting the crowd going, and they need that confidence.
Yeah, they're above Chelsea in the table, and early days, of course, it is after just 5 games. But are they proving your pre-season prediction wrong of them?
Probably. Based upon the fact that, I think Southampton definitely need more. We are early days, and we've seen them, especially during, lockdown. They were top of the league, and then before you know it, they're at the bottom. So Southampton fans won't get carried away, but they'll enjoy that tonight. And if they keep going in this direction, you can see they have some kind of guidance in what they're doing.